guy sitting in a dark room that smells like bad cucumbers.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Inconceivable!
Now featuring 11 listeners.
This is the Unique Geek.
You slimy scumbag, get on your face and give me 25.
This is the Unique Geek.
And welcome to another edition of 50 Days of Dragon Con, the podcast that is announcing the arrival of Dragon Con. I don't know.
That works. That works.
And joining me as always is that lovely voice you hear, Lee.
Yes, as I said earlier, 5 days, John, from the date we're recording this. 5 days. Now, for some people, it's just 1 day or 2 days or whatever.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's
and then I know
7 days now.
No, it's not. Stop.
I've heard.
But they got to get it all set up. So stop. And the other thing is, though,
I'm Jem. Jem told me.
You are Jem. Jem told you? Did Jem tell you The Rock would be there?
Yes.
Well, Jem lies. Jem lies like a dog. But as we talk about this, there are so few days left. Our guest, Regina. Hi, Regina. John's bringing her forward.
Oh, there we go.
Hi. No time.
And here you go. Here's The Rock.
There.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's The Rock. This is the only rock that I can guarantee will be a Dragon Con because I'm going to put it in my backpack right now.
Yay.
So, I made this just for John about 3 years ago because he kept saying The Rock was coming. And I was like, I wish, but yeah.
Well, you never know.
So,
it's
manifesting to the universe.
Exactly,
manifesting to the universe.
Put it out there.
Exactly.
You never know. You never know.
And Nathan
now in my thing. Yeah. Yes. I will tell you that I would take Neil Patrick Harris before Nathan Lane.
Really?
Well, I mean,
that would be my manifest.
That would be a good manifest.
If you're given two options.
If you're given two options, I'm sorry, but Neil Patrick Harris has done a little bit more genre work.
That's true. And has small children that would probably love it.
Yes.
So
exactly. I'm not even sure how small they are anymore because it's been a while.
Right. I haven't seen a picture in a while.
Yeah,
I just know they're younger than all of us.
Younger than us, yes.
Younger than my child, who is 25. So I'll go with that. There we go. But,
that's so... Can't be. It can't be.
No, I know.
I remember when he was like little.
He was little. He was 6 weeks old. My first Dragon Con. His first Dragon Con. He was 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
That was when it was in July. Oh. Okay. So I gotta ask, John Cleese. Absolutely amazing. How?
I don't know all of it. I will just say that I did say this to an agent that they asked me who was an agent who was maybe not in my best stead at the particular moment.
Okay.
As in, I was like hitting them in the arm, and anyway. So that they said, who could I get for you next year? And I said John Cleese. That's been about at least 10 years ago. So these things take time. but it did finally, manifest itself. And I'm terrified to even say that because, then things happen and they end up not coming.
But as of right now, your manifestation has worked.
As of 5 days away from Dragon Con.
Yes.
So far so good. So,
and I do.
And another thing, I want just a little note for today. If you've noticed, we do have one more person that got added in the pros area, who is his daughter, Camilla, who is a stand-up comedian on her own. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
very cool.
Just saying, she will be on there's a science and fiction comedy hour that happens on Friday at 10, and she will be on that with
that. Sounds
Ian Harris
cool.
and Leanna Lord. So yeah,
Ooh, those would be great.
they're friends. So
Oh, okay. That'll be working even better. That'll
Right.
be working even better.
Yeah,
I like this manifesting who you want. I do.
manifest to the universe. Yes.
Clark Gregg. Clark.
Oh, honey, yeah. You and me both. Yeah.
Okay.
So
We'll just manifest that one a little bit.
He's one I would love to have. So yeah.
Yes.
So anyway,
I don't disagree with Nathan. With Neil Patrick Harris. I think that would be.
he was just on Doctor Who and all that stuff.
Yes.
So I'm going to show
He
you
was so.
my new
What
pair
you got?
of glasses. It has
Are they Baby Yoda?
Baby Grogu on there.
Oh, Baby
Anyway.
Yoda.
I am going to take them off now because I'm getting a lot of reflection from
Yeah,
the
me
ring light.
too. So I'm
So
trying to keep my head like one kind
Right.
of position so I don't get too much.
exactly.
Although I'm getting new glasses that will be anti-glare and I cannot wait.
I hear you. I just got these because one of our other directors saw these toppers come out, and she was like, "Oh my God, Regina, you've got to have these!" And I was like, "Well, I'm actually due for glasses."
I do. I need
So yeah, so
Oh,
I've got quite a few different ones. I've got some UFO ones and some Princess Leia ones, and
Ooh.
it's really cool to have the little toppers that you can switch out.
I do like that. I do think those are awesome.
Is
Those
that-
are-
is that-
Hey, that was DJ Phasm that just showed up and said
Hi,
hello. Hello. Yeah,
So-
so DJ Phasm will actually be doing our Year of the Dragon dance tonight on Thursday night.
Ooh, and where will that be?
We'll be in the Imperial Ballroom in the Marriott. Right after it's like an hour. You know, we have to set up after opening ceremonies. So yeah.
Okay, very cool. So, John,
I want to go
where's
back
the
to. I want to go
Marriott?
back to. Hold on a second. I want to go back to the glasses thing. So that's not actually your glasses. They just sit on top of your glasses.
Yeah, they're magnetic. This is my real glasses.
Oh.
They're magnetic. I'm doing a free commercial for Peer Eyewear. And then,
that is
and
super
then
cool.
I have this is a galaxy, and there is Fantasy Dragons,
Ooh,
that is
and
sweet.
that's Princess Leia. She's in the corner because she's our princess.
Oh, I see.
So-
love her forever and ever.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so you can change them up so that you always have a different look, and these aren't very expensive. The glasses actually, if you just do single vision, is not very expensive either. So you can have different looks if you want.
What is Sarah wants to know what's that brand called again?
Pair eyewear. Because you
Pair eyewear.
pair them together.
Ah.
So this is the little
That's-
alien.
Oh, cool.
That's the UFO ones,
Oh, I love it.
which you have to have if you're going to Dragon Con. You
Of
know,
course.
So
Of
Not
course.
sponsored, but
no sponsors, but
However,
hey, manifest to the
Super
universe,
cool.
John.
Super
Manifest
cool.
to the universe.
50 Days of Dragon Con would love to sponsor anybody.
Would have a sponsor, yes,
Yes,
exactly.
we
Awesome.
will work on sponsoring.
And here's my other little Grogu, just requirement.
Oh.
This is my favorite. So, as you know, I love the little guy. If you can see all the stuff behind me.
And here's
which-
mine.
So, yes, I have lots.
Where does he make noise? I forgot. Oh, I have to turn him on.
Anyway, so yeah. So that's my
so
craziness.
back
So-
to Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
What does the director of Dragon Con programming do? Besides everything.
Well, yeah, besides everything. So everything in every room at Dragon Con that is in a main hotel falls under me. I assign all track space. I have 19 ballrooms that I have to assign
Oh, my.
things to. Yeah. So the system is that we have tracks. Those are areas of interest. Think Star Wars, Star Trek, X-Track that Lee used to be the director of. We also have reality stuff like space and science and digital media, and we have like 8 literary tracks. So all of those
A
people,
gajillion literary tracks.
we have like 8. Yeah, no, we have a lot. We have a lot. You have a lot. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But and we have a lot of authors. So in a lot of different areas. So so I am the overall guardian of that. So I am the one who's always going to place things based on, what I think the crowd size is going to be, what your interest is going to be. A lot of that comes from, our reactions when we see people, when we post people on social media, and there are sometimes things that surprise me. I'm like, I thought that, okay, this has been a while, particularly nostalgia things will surprise me. Some years ago, particularly since 2 of the members of this panel have since passed, we had I Dream of Jeannie, and we had, and I put them, because of the social media, I put them into about 1,000-person room, and it filled. I had not been planning to put them in that larger room until I saw the social media, and really surprised the room lead, because it was early, because they came in late, so I didn't have a lot of options left. And so they ended up going in at 10 a.m. on Friday.
Woo!
And the room lead, usually that first panel is kind of like getting your bearings and stuff.
Yeah,
and they were like, why is this room full?
Who are all these people? Who?
And it turned out it was because there was so much nostalgia factor there, that all these people showed up. And so it's cool. The first year I was the senior director, again, I had to do a 3-way switch for the first panel because the crowd sizes were different. And it was just like, okay, we had some people that had that were not in yet, so their flights had changed. So we had not as many people for one that I thought would be a little bigger, and so we had to literally move the lines between 3 things, and then they were perfect. But yeah, so I learned things like that. But I have I have programming meetings where I have people from different departments, like safety, like tech, and we all plan this together. But in the end, I'm the final say. So
there you go.
And all of those wonderful people report to me. I do have some mid-level track coordinators. Those are also track directors. But those directors have all been directors for more than 10 years. And so they have a lot of experience. And so they help guide people, in different things. So, and help them along the way. And I would not be able to do it without them. We have quite a bit of programming. As evidenced by our very large guest list this year.
It's a wonderful guest list. It is a wonderful guest list.
It is. We are very blessed this year, but many of them came a little later in the process than we are used to. So
better late than never. I mean, you still had that infamous William Shatner appearance that was like what, the Friday of DragonCon, or like the Thursday?
No, it was a week before. It was a week before. Yeah. It was literally got the call, and we were about to go to print with the with the quick start guide.
And that was before the app too, right? So so you had to
So it was literally like hold the presses for real. What we used to call the pocket program, which is now the quick start guide. It was literally, don't send it to the printer yet because I've got to change things. And that was the first year that I actually had programming starting at 10 a.m. on Friday. It used to be 1.
But it used to be Friday. Now it's Thursday.
Yeah, exactly.
And how it's
actually, have you seen the digital media that people are talking about Onesie Wednesday? Where people are, because they want to do the countdown. They count down at midnight. At midnight, they count, down from like 10 to 1, and then it's officially DragonCon day. Cool. So they're, So.
And when they start showing up on
my
Monday,
office is right down the hall. Oh no, they're they have.
I know.
There are people here.
There are people that go to the food court There was a guy a couple of years ago that showed up to the food court as Beetlejuice on Monday. Freaked everybody out. They were like, "Wait, that's already happening, right?" So yeah. So it was quite funny. But we have wonderful fans who love us and wait all year. So that's to come home.
Mm-hmm. This
DJ
is the family reunion I like.
It absolutely is. DragonCon family, all the way. So,
DJ Phasm asked, "Is there a Mrs. Roper panel?"
Not this year. I don't think so. They do. I'm sure there will be some kind of meetup.
And then Sean says, "I think so." And I know there's a romper.
There's a romp. Yeah. But I don't think it's an official panel. I'd have to look, but I don't think so. It may have snuck in on me. I have no idea, but that would be classics if it would be anything else. So yeah.
There you go. And Sarah says Classics Tracks is doing a table.
Doing a table read. That makes sense. That makes sense. That would be Joe. Joe loves all of the all of our fan older things over 10 years old. So yeah.
So I do have to wonder, what about why would there be a Mrs. Roper panel? I mean, is Joe just wanting?
Why not? Because
why not? Okay.
Because the Mrs. Ropers were there. We had like 100 of them that went on the stage for the masquerade last year.
No.
They were having their meetup, and they were invited to just kind of. And it was supposed to be they came on and looped the stage and went off.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought there was going to be about 30 of them, and about 100 showed up. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a little surprising. Yeah, very cool.
It was a thing. It was a thing. I don't know why. Maybe it's comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a nostalgia thing. But I'm not gonna poo-poo or question anybody's fandom. If that's what they're interested in, that's what they're passionate about, then more power to you.
No, I'm good with that. I was just like, is she Audrey? I can't remember her last name.
I can't either. But I don't know. For some reason, it became really popular. I don't know if it went on one of the nostalgia networks and everybody got excited about it or what.
Oh my goodness!
It was an easy costume because you could order a muumuu and a red wig and be
pretty much done. And some big beads. You need big beads
and slippers.
Let's remember too. Oh my God, the Monkees had them a couple of years because TV Land and MTV were showing them.
Exactly.
VH1. Is it VH1? Okay. Yeah. So there we go. So now, you got this. You got John Cleese. Where do you see some of the biggest days or times? I know every day is busy with everything else, but
Saturday is always the biggest. Saturday is always the biggest because of the parade. It brings so many people downtown, and people see things in the parade, and they get all excited, and then they decide to go and try to buy a Saturday day badge.
Mm-hmm.
Those are limited, by the way.
They are.
So
there were still some listed earlier today when I checked.
Few,
but they are limited.
But they are limited, and we did sell out last year of all but one day, and I believe that was Monday. So just saying. But yes, a lot of people. I used to work at a private school for 30 years, and people would say, "What was when they knew I was involved with DragonCon?" They would say, "Oh, my 11-year-old wants to come, really wants to come," and I was like, "What was your advice? Come see the parade. It's free.
Right.
Stand on the street. It's free. And also check out the schedule. And then and if they see something on that day that they're really passionate about, then buy a day badge." I also think that those are fantastic Christmas or birthday gifts.
Yes.
Where you buy that. We used to have the postcard, and then you could wrap it up. You can print out your receipt, wrap it up, and then they know. Then they've got something to anticipate.
Yes,
that they can do in the summer. So,
and we also share hotels with football fans for the.
Not as many as you would think.
Not as many, but
because most of the hotel rooms they sell out for 4 or 5 days.
Right.
And hotels would rather sell to a person that's going to be there for 4 or 5 days than just one night, particularly if they have a big event. So, and our host hotels sell out like really quickly.
It's the Hunger Games. I don't know what you're talking about. This
really quickly. So just saying. And then we have 12 overflows. So, but you can always find a hotel room at DragonCon. It's just maybe not a host. It may be one of the ones that's very adjacent. So, yeah.
And some of those have free breakfast. So yum.
Sarah did ask, they're not doing day badge sales outside the Marriott anymore, right?
I don't believe so. I think it's still going to be down at the Cortland Grand on the first floor. It's kind of down a side. You can either, when you enter from the front, you're on the second floor. But if you kind of go around the side, that's the first floor, and that's where badge pickup is.
Yeah,
you're not calling it registration anymore because it's online. It cuts down on the line time significantly. Because then you get a QR code and you walk in, and you can do that from the line if you want to.
I was going to say,
and then it just issues you.
You can't actually purchase in the line. You have to purchase it online and then go through the line.
Right. But you can do that on your phone, and then show up and show your QR code, and it prints your thing. It prints your badge out, and there you go.
And a reminder that if you're coming to buy a membership, DragonCon does not take cash for that anymore.
Correct.
Well, you have to buy online. There is no other option.
Buy online.
Well, yeah, they have to buy online. So don't think that you can walk.
We do take cash in the stores. But but that does cut down on line time and all that kind of stuff, and having to make change and
oh my goodness, yes,
all of that. Yeah,
change is difficult too, and you got to do math. That's just.
However, change is good for the change buckets for the charity.
Yes.
So
yes, the charity is awesome this year.
It's the Arthritis Foundation. A lot of people, they're like, why would you choose that? You know that is the #1 debilitating disease in the United States?
I did not know that, but I can believe it.
And it does affect children more than you think. There are a lot of different there's different types of arthritis. Like one of them is gout, and people don't think of that as arthritis, but it is. It is part of the arthritis thing, and that's extraordinarily painful, and a lot of people get it. And then there's of course rheumatoid, and that's can be very debilitating. But and as we get some of us get a little older, we start feeling those aches and pains.
That's exactly right.
And so we always, picks a charity that is meaningful to us. Usually like we've done lots of different ones over the years. But it's always something that's meaningful to us. Last year was Cure Childhood Cancer. That came to our attention because one of our hotel reps had a young child who had to go through cancer treatments at 2 years old. And that was one of the reasons why it came to our forefront, that they did a lot of support for not just the child, but the families as well. And we were able to, with the DragonCon match, which was $125,000, if we raised $125,000 at the show, DragonCon itself will match it dollar for dollar up to $125,000. Folks, we gave $270,000 to Cure last year.
That's amazing.
With the match. And we would love to do that for the Arthritis Foundation as well. But that was the first time we'd ever, usually we raise it whenever, we meet it, but we met it in 1 year. Like we raised it from $100,000 to $125,000 and we did it.
Yeah.
So, but the accountants and all hate counting that change. And every time I'm like, but every dollar's another one. I
remember telling people, throw your change in the buckets because
if you don't want to get on the plane with it, just because it adds up. It adds up. So
keep going.
Bless you. Sorry.
Uh-oh. She got a coughing fit.
Definitely a cough fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we call it? Okay, so yeah, let's see. Actually, Sarah asked, "Is there a specific story behind the Arthritis Foundation?" Or
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It affects a lot of people.
Right.
We have some people on our staff that have it. So I'm just saying it's meaningful to us. And it is also, you might notice that we always give it to the Georgia chapter.
Right.
And the reason is because this is our community. This is our home. So we want to make sure that money stays within our community. So
and charity begins at home.
Exactly.
And so many of these groups have such a small budget. Every dollar counts. They can use this for things that they can expand a service, or they can add more people to a service. I mean,
exactly.
They desperately need this money.
Do a lot with education, with helping to fund research, outreach, all of those things. So, So, and we've had some really amazing charities, but we've raised over $1.4 million in the last 10 years.
I knew it had to be over $1 million, so I was like waiting. That is just absolutely wonderful, folks. You have no idea how many lives that changes.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
And that doesn't even include our your blood drive, right? I mean,
no, that's correct. And the blood drive every year, our goal is always to outperform a certain
West Coast
convention.
Or New York convention, because they like to try to get in on that too, but no,
they never beat us. They never beat us.
Never have, never will.
Because DragonCon fans are the best. So
they are.
Yep.
And that's really good.
Yeah. And they will be down in the bottom level of the Hyatt again this year, and I'm sure that there will be calling out to you from the escalators to try to get you to go down there and give. So
and they'll have signs and a copy,
and you get a free T-shirt.
That's right.
Yeah, you get a free
T-shirt. It says DragonCon on it.
It does. Yeah, so they always come up with really cool things. Yeah,
they do. Actually, they're beautiful artwork on them.
They are.
Really neat. So, but that's been going on for a very long time, and DragonCon's as long as I have been going. That has been a part of it. So
blood drives were started by Robert Heinlein. Actually, he actually got a lot of conventions to start doing them. So and we were proud to be part of that. So
as someone who has had blood,
and Sarah, I think they are doing appointments, but I'm not positive of that. But I am sure that they will. Information will be available. So
you can probably look up Robert Heinlein blood drive memorial blood drive
or DragonCon blood drive. I'm sure there's probably a Facebook group, because there's a Facebook group for everything. Everything.
Well, and it's so funny because we've said so what's your group name? And it's on Facebook, and then John and I will both go, or if you just type Star Wars DragonCon, it will pop up on Facebook. Anything you want, it'll pop up. There is a group. If you have thought about it at DragonCon, there's probably a group for it.
That is true.
Which is good. I just really want to see the Deadpools dancing this year. I hope they have that choreographed.
Yeah, they usually do. Yeah, I imagine that there'll be maybe some more Wolverine Deadpool mashups. I can't wait to see that. The costume is always fantastic at DragonCon.
It is
way more inventive than a lot of people think. I mean, and the mashups in particular are really interesting. So
yes, and if you have not seen the gender bent Disney princesses, desperately need to go. Desperately need to see them. They'll be all around the place, especially Saturday and Sunday. I usually see them at the Hilton, but I'm sure they wander from spot to spot to spot. They're great.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the banners that are up. We every year the Atlanta Visitors Bureau does banners for us around the 6 blocks that's DragonCon, and one of those is a Barbie Ghostbuster.
That's sweet
combo. So cool. She's one of those, and if you're out there, we don't know who you are, so let us know. Write the office, DragonCon@dragoncon.org. and tell us who you are. Because all of these are determined. We have amazing cadre of photographers to go out and take a lot of pictures. And when we're looking through the thousands and thousands of them after the convention, ones jump out at you as very much ultimate, very much the ultimate Dragon Con kind of thing. And they start narrowing and narrowing and narrowing until they get to those final 2 images. So it's pretty cool. So
that is very cool.
I will point out that it looks like they are taking reservations for
fantastic Life South. That's right.
South right there, and they have appointments over there. So head over to Life South, and search for that.
Absolutely.
Just put it in Dragon Con, it'll pop up.
Yeah.
I forgot that is Life South, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Now, I think one question a lot of people ask is, well, I had it. Hold on. There's a question. We have so many fandoms and tracks. How do new fandoms get added?
Generally, they send me a proposal. I will tell you flat out, it's a space issue at this point.
Yeah.
So I have joked and not really much of a joke, Sarah Rose. That we're at a point where, unless you're going to have a cage match, for one track to take another track's space, we're kind of full at the moment. At some point, maybe we'll add. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, we know. But it's a lot of those things. Other tracks are kind of piggyback, letting them pull things in. Classics is one. Alt History does one because they did Hamilton. And Star Trek is even doing one this year with the sing-along Rhapsody. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Starship Rhapsody, right?
They're doing all kinds of stuff. So
yes, they are. So Sarah, we are telling people to go see it. I'm pretty sure it's Starship Rhapsody, but it will be on
I can look it up.
I know it's Friday.
We're not gonna do that.
Oh, she'll put it
up here in a minute.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So
That's Sarah.
yeah,
We love you, Sarah.
Zan wants to point out that Regina has just announced a track versus track cage match.
Well,
I have suggested that that's a Subspace Rhapsody picture show and sing along. That's what it's called.
Space Rhapsody. All right, so there we go.
Yeah. So
But you know what? That is a way to raise money for charity.
yeah,
So,
but then are you gonna
you gotta wrestle in Jello.
Are you gonna
or
talk?
pudding.
Oh, that's messy. No. Cleaning bills. No.
It's a lot of plastic. Okay, but that is
yeah. But somebody has to lay that plastic and then to bring it back up. Do we remember Guar in the Guar condom?
Yes.
So
yes,
the
we
same.
Oh my!
Back in the day. In the day. Yeah. So yeah. So
they were great folks, but they were really messy.
So we're super full this year. We have a fantastic, amazing amount of guests, and hoping that the wrestling ring is going to arrive on time this year. Speaking of wrestling, that was a little bit of a challenge last year, but we for all you wrestling fans out there, and there are a lot of you. We have a new vendor, a new person that's providing the ring. So we're hoping that everything will be copacetic this year. I will say that the fans, though, did absolutely step up, and they actually helped us firemen carry that ring in the pieces of the ring into the Hyatt last year. So
as we say, we're the family you like.
That's right. Exactly. And got that thing set up. It was a little bit later than we would have liked, but it got done, and everybody had a good time. So, and I saw wrestling for the first time. So,
really?
Yeah. I have only seen a minute or two of it, maybe just making sure that things were happening,
doing
rolling.
what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. But because of that challenge last year, I basically sat in there most of the time. So
not leaving until
it's done. Yeah. So but we're on top of it this year. So
awesome. And So you have
It
always
is.
said-
It is. That's actually. She said it's considered a performing art, and I said yes. It is because it is a athletic entertainment. You know,
Right.
so
It's
it's
the
It's kind of like the Harlem
outcome is
Globetrotters.
predetermined.
it's a show. It's a
It's-
show.
Yeah, the outcome's predetermined. It's not, but the actual fighting isn't.
John,
Right.
So-
spoilers. We got
I know,
some
right?
children that don't know.
I know, right? Sarah Rose does ask if a dance off would be for the track versus track dance off. That'd be. A
I'll
little
take it under advisement, but
That would be a good
but
one.
if
then
we're
we'd
gonna
make
say
other people sad. I'm just saying.
paper
We'll
rock
make a-
scissors Spock would be more appropriate, possibly.
That just comes down to people getting really mad. And
Yeah,
and stuff. That's
And we're not about that. We're about the joy that is Dragon Con. You know,
We are
you
about
would
the
have a
joy.
distinct advantage there,
It's all
Sarah
enough,
Rose.
yeah.
She said, "Okay, a sing off." Yeah.
No.
So,
no, I don't think
and just so we're very clear, I
We're
love
just teasing,
musical
we're all
theater.
teasing.
We're all
I
teasing,
I
yeah.
love musical theater. It's not about that. I was in Godspell when I was in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I sang all through high school, and yeah, so it's not about that. It is literally about space. So,
So
I
is
was
there-
asked to leave.
and we
my-
always make things broader. If you
Right.
if you'll note, at one time we had a Xena track
Mhm.
that morphed into other things, and then we ended up with a Whedonverse for a while, and then that broke
More-
up and became went into other things. So we started off with an Anne McCaffrey track and a Wheel of Time track. Both of those, after those authors had passed away, we
Mhm.
realized, but the fantasy is still there. So we made a fantasy lit track, which is
Mhm.
broader to cover
Right.
all the authors that write in that genre rather than just focusing in on one.
Yeah.
So that's always what we try to do, is make it more broad and more inclusive,
Mhm.
not less so. So
Right. And
Yeah,
I
isn't-
love the fact that I love the fact of how inclusive it can be, because and so many tracks are not double booked. They share the time, because this hits horror and it hits musical theater or
Yes.
whatever.
and I am
whatever
that
it is.
person that makes the determination as to how much
There
they
you
get.
Yeah. There
Has
you
there,
go.
has there ever been any talk recently of adding another host hotel, or is that just not logistically?
You may throw something at him if you wish.
Where are they going to build one, John?
Yeah,
I am open for it. Let's see.
have
Like you say,
facility.
manifest out to the universe. But it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things we're always looking at. We're always looking at that, and
Always
what
looking at
available space we have. So
So
It's interesting because the configuration of the hotels we have works so well. I just can't. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of some place another hotel in the area that would have the facilities that's within sort of that block
Right.
area. Yeah.
Right.
And we're desperate for another. We need one more habit trail from the Hilton to the Sheraton, so you don't have
Not
to
gonna
go
happen.
outside.
Well, it
I know
can't
it's
happen
not
because
gonna
Sheraton
happen,
doesn't
but-
exist anymore.
Yeah, it's
Portland.
a Cortland Grand, but
Portland Grand,
I will just tell you that is not going to happen, and the
Mhm.
reason is because they actually passed a law that they could not put any more habit trails downtown.
Yep.
Why?
I actually knew that.
Big-
I still want them.
Yeah, it blocks something with there's security concerns, like people anyway. And they passed that law, and the last one, which was the one from the Hyatt to the Marriott,
Mhm.
was grandfathered in by
Because-
2 months because they had their application in for so long.
Mhm.
And
That
that's
makes that
why the staff refer to that habit trail as the Dragon Con habit trail,
Very good to know.
because it was only happened because of Dragon Con.
Mhm.
And they had been trying to get that permitting through for several years, or they would not have allowed them to have it.
Yes.
So
And I will tell y'all something. If you are at the Cortland Grand, I got
yay,
it.
Lee!
I'm working on it. I can't remember my own name some days. But if you're working at the Cortland Grand, if you walk down a little bit towards the Hyatt, there is a parking deck. And if you
Yes,
go up to
there
a
is.
certain floor, and it even
Seventh.
has it on the button,
The 7th floor. Mhm.
you can go across. It's it's covered, but it's not like completely covered. There's some
Correct.
openings.
Yeah.
And if you go down that, you hit the food court and you don't have to go up any hills. So as soon as you hit the food court,
That's
you
true.
can decide: am I going to eat? Am I going to go to the Westin? I mean, you got lots of things. You
And
can
there are
do it there.
escalators because of the
Yes.
MARTA station
Mhm.
that is connected to the
Peachtree Center.
Peachtree Center food
Mhm.
court.
Yep.
And there's a MARTA. The MARTA stop is right there, and so there are escalators that'll take you up to the street, and you can go right down the street to
Go whoosh.
the Westin or to the Hyatt.
There you
So,
go.
yep.
That is awesome. That is always good. So just FYI.
So I always try to make my when I make my rounds. When I try to make my rounds, I always go. I start off in the Marriott because that's where my office is.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go Hyatt to the Westin, down the hill to Cortland Ground because you don't want to have to go uphill.
No, you do not. I have done that, and it is not good. It was
Then
bad.
then over to the Hilton, back across, and back to the Marriott. So,
Right.
In the course of DragonCon proper, let's just say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Mhm.
How many times do you think you go through a hotel door? Like, do you make that round, those rounds like 30, 40, 50 times? How many times do you?
No, I try to make it at least once a day.
Oh, okay.
But anything that's going to be changed is going to come to my office. So, and much of the time I am the only person that can approve that change. Because I am one of the few people that knows all the parts, all the moving parts, because I work at this all year. So that's, and so it's like, no, if I move that, then that'll affect this. And that's,
That'll affect,
yeah. So it's a big puzzle. Luckily I like puzzles. So that's,
there you go. It's a fun puzzle too, because there's going to be fun at the end of it. So
yeah,
that's good.
exactly.
When you're scheduling, do you take into consideration even how big you presume the lines are going to be? Correct. You're not even just for the next panel.
It's a factor. Yeah, it absolutely is a factor. And groups that might not be as accommodating to each other, and not having two large things happen.
Yes.
Things that are going to really pull a lot of lines, exiting at the same time.
Right.
Because that becomes a safety issue. So, and that's, So I might move something bigger to a different hotel to make sure that we have plenty of space for every.
Those two places are spread out.
Yeah. So they're spread out a little bit more. But we have big ballrooms in every hotel that we're at. So it's just, but that's part of the joy of this DragonCon.
That is the joy. And so that was the other question I was going to ask, because a lot of people have asked me, and I do know the answer, but they've asked, all right, so I want to stay for all of the panels that are in the Imperial Ballroom, but we clear them out. DragonCon is one of the few, if only cons I know, that actually clear the room every time.
We do. After every panel, we clear the room. And the reason is because there are people that have been waiting outside for an hour to get into this panel, and it is not fair for you to come and camp all day long, or come and camp for something which happens at another convention, very prominently been told, that they come and camp for the panel that they want at the end of the day.
Right.
And they just take up space, they try to take up prime real estate, waiting for that one thing that they want to see. And they just trade people out. They just, go to the bathroom, come back, and and that's not fair. And
it is not at all. No.
And we want everybody to have a chance. Many of the panels have a panel on a different day. There are a few exceptions. John Cleese is one. Jodie Whittaker is one that are limited. But if you are in a host hotel, go watch it on DCTV.
And
for your
future,
or purchase your streaming membership. It is $10, folks. It's the best deal in town. And we record most of the large ballrooms, and many of those. Well, not everything. Sometimes the tape, is not a good quality. You had some kind of thunderstorm or something, and it can happen. But a large amount.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's also contractual reasons why you can't record.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
For instance, you will not see Jodie Whittaker on the streaming.
Right.
No. Right. Because
That's part of BBC.
thing. Yeah.
BBC.
thing. Yeah.
Because you know,
memes.
it's
For some reason
within a
I still
certain
understand
time
it.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still understand what the reasoning is, but okay. And no, I get it. It's their contract. It's whatever. But it's
Exactly. And so we have to honor that, just like we did last year with SAG. We obviously want the artists to be protected because we enjoy their work.
Right.
Right.
So, let me address this. This is one thing I did want to address because there have been a lot of questions about it. Is will people be able to ask their questions in a microphone this year? Yes, they will. However, we are not abandoning Discord.
Oh, okay.
That works very well. So think of it in a large ballroom as a third line. There's usually 2 aisles, and there's a microphone on each one, and we'd go back and forth. Well, now it will be over here, and something from Discord.
Oh, okay.
And those people that, there are people in the room that may not want to have to climb over 15 other people to get out to the question or don't feel they can. There are people that maybe have a disability and cannot get to the microphone as easy. They could do that from right there in the room. Or if you're in your hotel room watching this panel because you could not get in because the line was so long, or you needed a sandwich, or this was your downtime, but you want to watch it. You still have that availability to go into Discord,
right?
And find the room that you're wanting to watch the panel, and ask your question. I'm not guaranteeing it will get answered because a lot of people ask questions, but you have a chance then, and they will say who it's from, whatever your handle is.
Right.
So it could be
whatever you tell them to call you.
Wanda 342. Asks.
Right.
What do you like on your tuna sandwich? Whatever. But yeah.
I think this.
So we're bringing it back because we do know that the fans really reached out. They did not like not being able to ask them in person, but we had to obey the SAG agreements, and that was the only way to make sure that nobody was asking a question that they absolutely could not answer, and so and move to questions that they could answer.
Right.
We still have those backup questions if we ever got to that point again. We're maintaining those where we have questions for each day that don't have anything to do with their actual property, but may let you get to know them as a person, or talk to them about their craft, about how they choose roles, how they, if they've gotten into directing, for instance, or writing, or all of those different things, so that we could make sure that we protect that experience. So.
Milk versus dark chocolate.
Right.
Very important to my heart. Sorry, but yeah. So there is that about the rooms cleared. And then one of the other questions is the Hunger Games of the hotels, which is how it is because that's how the hotels set it up. DragonCon doesn't set it up like that.
No. We have contracts with the hotels, but the hotels are their own business. So they set that up, and people call the office all the time. They're like, I couldn't get in. Okay, so there's a lot of overflows.
And they're not that far, people.
And they're not far, and we have a shuttle that goes to a lot of them. But in the end, that contract is between you and that hotel, that facility, not with DragonCon. So we help as much as we can, but that's there's only so much we can do because that's their business, not ours.
Right. Regina, I wanted to ask you one more question. As you see, we're going into the Jackbox game, but no, see, I forgot. How did I get there?
I'll ask
You go
a
first,
question that Dane Turner was asking is,
Yes.
are
Yes, we
are the
should
plans
be
to
doing please.
streaming cleats? Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes. My husband is taking
He's
a
far enough out of BBC that
all good.
apparently his contract did not include that. So some of the
And
newer
it's-
people do. It's just
That's how it
and
works.
it's a
whatever
BBC
they
contract, it is
tell
what it
us
is.
they can do,
Right.
then that's when that's all we do. So we asked them
But
that question.
BBC,
So
it's free advertising, BBC. Just FYI.
it is.
I think it's going to
It
be,
is.
yeah. And it'll be wonderful to actually ask Innocent Mount, how does he keep his hair that way as he acts?
He's
during-
doing an actually interesting thing this year.
Oh,
Just if you people out there, and the app is out, so
Yes.
at least I don't have to
Yep.
answer that question. The app is out.
and right as I said, about 2 weeks before, hush.
It
Hold on.
was. It was almost exactly 2 weeks before. 10 days is usually what I say, and that's when we dropped it. And it has updated. I applaud the social media team that came up with the first update, which was everything was fictional. Absolutely everything. They actually misspelled Marriott in one of the panels. And somebody caught it. They asked me about it, and I was just like, guys, it's pretend. These are, one of the workshops was how to build your own thermonuclear reactor, and it said materials fee required. And I was like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Sarah
So-
says Teeth the musical is real.
But not at DragonCon. It's not appearing at DragonCon, at least not
That
this year.
doesn't,
So,
that doesn't sound, no.
so
Kinda like Eyeballs, the musical, no.
but yeah, so but yeah, it's out, and that's so. But Anson Mount is he does a podcast called The Well, and he talks to people about all kinds of different things, usually celebrities, and he is going to be interviewing Danny Trejo in one of them.
Ooh.
And they talk about mental health and and their careers and how they got to where they are and all of those things.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's one of his panels on Friday. He, instead of being with Strange New Worlds, is going to be doing his podcast. So
That's very
so we have
cool.
multi-dimensional people going on here. So
Everything's
yeah.
going on. Yay.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. That
Yep.
sounds awesome. Okay. So nobody can find you at the con. If you see her, wave and say, "Great con," and walk on by, because I promise you she's power walking.
I am. Yeah, they call it the senior director walk because most of the senior directors do that because we have places to go. Where usually if we're out of our office, it's because we are answering a challenging situation. I would just say that. So
Yes. So
Yeah.
that is very important. So there's that. So, okay,
All right.
John. it's your
Yep.
turn.
So we're going to go ahead and play. I think we've got. Oh yeah, Regina's in. So I'll go ahead and unlock this. If anybody in the audience wants to play, you can go to jackbox.tv, put in the code YXKY. We'll give it a couple minutes.
I was really jealous of the one that you did with Rachel and Mandy. I watched that one earlier, and it was all about food, and that's my thing. So I was kind of like, this is the one that I might have actually done well on, but probably get something about anime, which I know very little about. Or something like that.
Well, the good thing about bracketeering is it has nothing to do with how much you know really about fandom.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
so
is
we
just,
we may have
yeah.
played Quiplash with them. That might have been.
We might have, yeah.
No, you did bracketeering.
Oh, we did bracketeering. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, because I did agree with Lee saying that if you won the lottery, if you got your future self got the lottery codes and you won the lottery, then you could buy your eternal membership at any time you'd like.
That's exactly right.
As many times by everyone con, an eternal
Worst
member.
mistake.
No, that wouldn't work out for us.
But a worst mistake I ever made was not
Because
buying one for
costs
my son.
happen every
and his
year.
baby.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I
Oh,
bought him
too
one.
bad now.
Yeah, too bad now.
All right.
I
love you a
believe
lot,
that we
but
would
maybe
probably
not that.
turn that off. So if we got to that point, it would be like, yeah, no more. That's what
No,
we're doing. We've
all done.
we're all done. We've purchased all the ones that we can.
Bracketeering. I'm sending the topic of our first bracketeer devices now. The movie that most deserves a sequel that it doesn't already have. You
Huh.
get what
Oh
I'm saying?
man, I would have said
It deserves a
Beetlejuice.
sequel, but it doesn't already have one, right? You got it. Of course you got it. I'm sorry. Continue.
The movie that most deserves a sequel that it doesn't already have.
By the way,
That's
you can
tough.
use and play along by going to jackbox.tv and entering the room code.
Do you get snarky and say Star Wars?
No,
Oh,
Anything
I
outside of the
wouldn't do
first?
it. I
Rogue
would not do that, man. They will find you.
yeah.
Rogue One
Look,
deserves a
15
sequel.
seconds, and there's so many.
Rogue One.
I mean, because isn't that never mind.
It was perfect.
I know it's perfect. The point is it ends with everyone gone.
Yeah, but I mean that's the point is that it showed, you know,
Your
it
answer
showed
is
what the cost
one-on-one
was.
matchups. That means it's time to seek our fortune at the
Did you get your
prediction
answer, Emily?
table. On your device, you'll see
I
one
did
of
right
the
at the end.
matchups for this bracket.
Huh.
If you can predict the answer that will get the most votes, you'll earn some sweet, sweet moolah. Oh, and don't forget, if you think the odds are stacked against your own answer, you can still get some cash by predicting the correct winner.
Which I will be doing because I could not think of anything good at all. And I'm like over here.
Time's
looking at
running
everything
out.
I have.
Uh-oh.
That's time on the prediction table. It's time to dive into our first bracket.
Ta-da.
Oh boy.
The movie that
Use
most
your
deserves a
device to vote on
sequel
which
that doesn't
you
already
think
have
deserves
one.
to win.
The Edge or Black Swan?
Not a lot of votes yet.
Didn't Black Swan end in murder too?
Yep.
Like
Insanity.
people dead?
This one's looking
And
over.
insanity. Yep.
The Edge looks like it's winning. 4-3 over Black
I'm
Swan.
hungry for popcorn.
There you go.
Who submitted that?
Any prediction winners just made a killing.
The Edge moves
Next
on to the next
up.
round. The Adventures
is
of
one
Buckaroo
for the ages.
Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension or Serendipity? Serendipity or The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across
It's
the
really
Eighth
going
Dimension?
back and forth.
The movie that most deserves a sequel that doesn't already have one.
Get those last second
Buckaroo
votes in now.
Banzai or Serendipity? Buckaroo Banzai is winning 5-3.
A real tug of war there.
Actually surprised it was that close.
Ba-da-boop.
Let's see what tensions are mounting over in the Omega
That would have been a
Conference.
good one.
Inception or Buckaroo Banzai? Here we go.
Oh,
Are you being incepted? Or did you already think about Buckaroo Banzai?
Okay, so
Buckaroo
we're gonna
Banzai-
have the same thing that we had before
Buckaroo Banzai against Buckaroo Banzai.
This one seems
against Buckaroo Banzai
So-
against Buckaroo Banzai.
The other one technically has most of the full name.
I'm ordering my tickets online now.
It got cut off at Dimension, but Buckaroo Banzai wins against Inception, or did it? Did we just want
And
you to
now
think?
our
that's what
last two
happened?
contenders.
Mm.
face off.
Serenity or Brigadoon?
Oh man, I would love to see a sequel to Brigadoon.
I'd like
Like
to see a sequel to
50?
Serenity, please.
I would too.
Anytime
Yeah.
now.
So, but like 50, 100 years in the future, going back to Brigadoon,
Just running out the clock
Brigadoon
now.
is losing 6-1 right now.
and I'm the only one, so I got you. It's all right.
A regular juggernaut.
We understand. Nobody
Oh,
likes
yeah,
Lee.
I understand. I understand. It's all fine. I'll stop.
Before we get on to round two, it's time to make another prediction.
I have a feeling I know what the final lineup is going to be, but
Mhm.
we shall see. Everyone's making their predictions. DJ Phasm asks, the rom-com didn't win?
Yeah.
Weird. Oh, that's a good question. So Sarah Rose asks, are there any plans to make a desktop version of the schedule?
Time's running out.
I mean, DJ did say we forgot about
That's
Blade.
time at the prediction table.
For the best
Oh
sequel.
man, that's true.
Back to our
There's a
bracket
sequel.
for round
Technically, it
2.
has sequels.
No, no, it doesn't. Shush.
Yeah, it does.
Both of these answers have seen adversity before.
Deadpool was in a different movie before he was in Deadpool.
Yes, it was.
The Edge or The Adventures of Buckaroo
A
Banzai
real
Across the
tug
Eighth
of
Dimension.
war.
Currently, Buckaroo Banzai is winning over The Edge. As The
The
Edge
clock
on The
is
Edge, if you
running
know what I
out.
mean.
But there's only one
Edge
vote
on
between
the
them.
edge.
That could go
there we
either
go.
way.
Buckaroo Banzai, of course, wins.
Buckaroo against Buckaroo. I'm telling you.
This could
Dan
be the
says there
answer to
already is a
beat.
desktop
Let's check
version
out
of
the
schedule.
competition.
She's looking for the URL right now. Buckaroo Banzai against Serenity.
A clear
Uh-oh.
front runner.
Serenity is smacking down Buckaroo Banzai. Oh, one person. So it's 5-1 against Buckaroo Banzai, right? Oh, 5-2. Buckaroo Banzai is making a comeback. Any more? No,
This one's
6-2.
looking over.
Serenity.
Come on, people.
7-1. Serenity.
Let it go.
Ugly.
Did you just say let it go?
Mm-hmm.
Never.
We have a few
Okay.
winners.
Lee's like,
And
all right.
now
whatever,
the
okay.
definitive
Whatever.
Yep. Which movie most deserves some sweet, sweet sequel action?
So we have a rematch essentially of Serenity versus The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. Now,
One
I would
answer is
argue
showing some
this
promise.
is the full title. Actually, it's Across the Eighth D because dimensions didn't fit all the way
No
on the thing.
one thought it would be this close.
But Serenity is winning 7-2.
This one
Again.
seems like it's over before it's done.
Movie that most deserves a sequel. Serenity.
We have our first winner.
I don't know who Iru is.
That is
Wow, what a bracket. Let's see how the scores shook out.
Big Bill's wife.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember her name. It's hurting me.
Chris is in second, and I believe
Ruka.
that's Carrie is in third. Is that right? I think it's Carrie.
Not Big Bill, Mighty Bill.
Time for the blind bracket.
Oh,
we
no.
start with just the category.
Oh, no.
Name any band from the 90s or early 2000s. Enter your answers now.
Any band from the 90s or early 2000s. I assume they mean 1990s, not 1890s. Mr. McGee and his Traveling 3.
Why can't I think of the name? I got it.
As someone that is DJing Can't Stop the Signal, he knew, DJ Phasm knew that Serenity would win.
I get it. I do. I think it was a
When-
great show.
When is that? When is Can't Stop the Signal dance? Do we know?
Friday,
Friday?
10 p.m. in the Weston Peachtree Ballroom.
There we go.
Ooh, pretty.
Let's see what this bracket is really about. Band that would probably release the best children's album. Time to
Sweet.
get in those predictions.
Oh, my, my, my. I'm sorry. The one I just had to make a prediction of. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, I wanted to point out that maybe I mentioned it already. That earlier, who was saying it? I think it was. We were talking about Gwar, and they still had a stained T-shirt from that
Time's running out.
day.
I believe that.
I can
Oh,
totally
prediction
believe
table time is up.
Comment.
Pink and blue.
Okay, band that would probably release the best children's album: Blind Melon or Traveling Wilburys. I mean, honestly, either of them. Oh yeah, there it is. Dane Turner was saying, we remember
The
Gwar.
struggle is real.
I just remember hearing everybody talk about it. Like, I got
Oh,
splattered twice.
Traveling Wilburys are winning 4-3.
I did not.
Blind Melon?
Blind Melon, but their singer's gone. Was it
Next up,
Sean was saying that they're having flashbacks to the wrestling ring incident.
This is a big one.
Garbage or Backstreet Boys? Which band would probably release the best children's album? Let's see. Ironic one or real one? That's what the question would be. Garbage if you're going ironic. Real Backstreet Boys.
The clock is running.
I just don't think you can clean enough garbage up to make it make sense.
Oh, that win was so big you could hear it in the next state over.
Backstreet Boys wins. Zan says there's it's at the appcores.app.com.
Let's
whatever.
see what's
Sign your
happening
account,
over
make
on
a
the
second
other
device.
side of the bracket.
If you're looking for the desktop version. You have to go to the Facebook page to find that info. Smashing Pumpkins or
clear on this one.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Smashing Pumpkins or the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Who would make the
real tug
best
of war.
children's album?
As long as they don't do some of the things they do in their concert, yeah.
Last second vote in now.
Red Hot Chili Peppers is currently in the lead, 5-3, and it is
A
Red Hot Chili
seesaw
Peppers.
battle if I ever saw one.
I was really
Unless there's
hoping
actually a
somebody-
band called RHCP, but I'm pretty sure they meant Red Hot Chili
I
Peppers.
think, yeah. I would agree now that you said it.
It's
as
time
soon
to
as you said it.
round out the bracket with this vicious matchup.
Yeah, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs or
The
NSYNC.
scales are beginning to tip.
Is NSYNC and Backstreet Boys 90s? God,
I am on the
I
Yes,
thought they were like the
believe it or not.
80s.
Oh,
I guess maybe
No,
they
I
were.
think they're 90s.
they're
The
90s.
clock is running out on voting time.
Yeah Yeah Yeahs or NSYNC. Yeah Yeah Yeahs
These two
wins.
heavyweights went back and forth.
I like that
There
one.
can only be one
That's a
victor.
good idea. It's not mine. It's not mine though. That's really cool.
There's cash if you predicted this one. Before we get on to round two, it's time to make another prediction.
Band that would probably release the best children's album. I think in the oh, now I forget who we have in the
We
first-
had Blind Melon and Backstreet Boys.
that's what it was. And then
Because I just looked down because it wanted me to release and wanted me to make a prediction, and then I couldn't remember their names. I hate my brain some days.
Sarah!
Time's running out.
Wait on Sarah, and I think it's Simon or someone. I would never know who it is. Or 1
Time
million.
to step away from the prediction table. Let's jump back to our bracket for round two.
So yeah, we got Blind Melon versus Backstreet Boys.
There is no love lost between these two.
Backstreet Boys is winning. Who would probably release the best children's album? Blind Melon coming back 3-3. Blind Melon is so random. It's such a random name to pick. Band to pick.
Only 2 seconds left to
4-4.
vote.
Backstreet Boys, but has potential. Blind Melon. has
Ouchie,
oh,
it's a tie.
tap off.
Tap on your dice as fast as you can to cheer for your answer.
Blind Melon does have the potential, though, to be a good joke name if the topic was different.
The tie has been broken. I'm going to miss the tie times.
Wait, it was 50-50. Oh, whatever.
Money if you guessed it.
Karen O actually
We're
made a
just
great
one match away
children's
from our
song for
finals.
Frankenweenie, says Sean.
Oh,
Nothing has come easy so far for either of these
Red Hot
answers.
Chili Peppers, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Which band would probably release the best children's album? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. They are in the lead. And Red Hot Chili Peppers not bringing the heat right now.
where did mine go?
And the Yeah Yeah Yeahs
Windbirds
win.
landed in Paris. And now the final face-off. Which
Blind
band would
Melon.
have the best children's album?
Blind Melon or the Yeah Yeah Yeahs? Yeah Yeah Yeahs are currently winning 2-1.
I'm seeing some early
Blind
traction
Melon
here.
didn't see that coming. Oh no! Now Blind Melon is in the lead.
An upset in the making.
Oh no! It's tied 4-4. Yeah Yes. And Blind Melon.
The clock is running out on voting time.
It's
Moving
a
into
tie.
overtime.
Tap it off, people.
Show your support for your answer by tapping on your device as fast as you can.
Tap 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 tap. And it is. I'm going to say the yes. No, blind melon.
It is going to be the one I didn't choose. I've just decided that every one of them I have.
Chris Whittle is the one that put in blind melon.
Good job, Chris.
That scoreboard.
It's such a random and specific 90s band, though. Chris is winning with it's Aruka, right? Is that right?
Aruka.
And Sean is in second.
And now the bracket you heard so much about, the triple blind bracket. This bracket will change every single round. Let's start with a category. Name something you might find in the garbage or a landfill. Who knows
PG,
what
folks,
crazy twists
just
and
as a
turns
reminder.
this bracket will take.
Name something you might find in the garbage or a landfill. Doesn't have to be real. Can be imaginary. Could be a TARDIS. Might find one of those. Could be that snake. Does that snake that's in the, or that worm or whatever that's in the trash compactor in Star Wars have a name?
I do not know.
It does.
I gotta believe it does, right?
They had a name of the thing, the animal with Jabba the Hutt.
Running out.
Now you're gonna look it up.
Sarah,
Sarah, look that up for Jump, please.
Let's see what we're dealing with. Best thing to put in your mouth.
Oh,
Time to get in those predictions.
Sure, you had the family friending on.
Cash has doubled this round, so
Well,
make these
I mean,
choices
yeah.
count.
Could have been macaroni and cheese. You never know. Best thing to put in your mouth. Something, but the answer was for something you might find in the dump of the trash.
That was the first question. And
I don't know if Sarah's saying sorry to us or for what she entered.
Time's running out.
Dianaga is the worm.
Prediction table.
oh my
It's
god.
no time.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
it was named.
Okay.
Diangoa.
Best thing to put in your mouth:
Ooh.
the ET video game cartridge or the Cortland Grand.
Oh my. That's a story.
ET video game cartridge
Just
or the
running out
Cortland
the clock
Grand.
now.
Best thing to put in your mouth. The ET video game cartridge is winning 7 to
You
nothing.
will not be denied.
That's where they found them. And now they're collectibles.
And ET is the correct answer according to DJ. That's all.
Moving on to our next matchup.
A haunted doll or a melon rind? Best thing to put in your mouth: a haunted doll or a melon rind? Zan points out that meal breaks are when you stop and eat food that
Get
didn't
those
come from your
last
purse.
second votes in now.
That's a good thing to do. Please take 2 of those a day. Try to
Haunted
add
doll
something
wins.
Smooch under a
healthy, a little
rainbow.
tiny bit. An apple.
Yeah, I suppose if an apple came out, well, that's still on a meal though, right? Just
That's
an
not, but
apple.
that could be a good part of your meal.
Haunted
like,
doll
I'm-
is
We
the
see
best
what's
thing to
going
put in your
on on
mouth.
the other side of the bracket.
A laundry detergent bottle or dead mob enemies? Best thing to put in your mouth: dead mob enemies or laundry detergent bottle?
The lead keeps changing hands.
Detergent bottle is currently winning 5-2. Dead mob
clock is
enemies.
running out
Oh,
on
coming
voting
back
time.
from the dead. 4-3, 4-4.
Looks like we're heading to overtime on
and
this
overtime. Tap it off, people.
one. Tap on your device as fast as you can to cheer for your answer.
Never stick Tide Pods in your mouth.
Never. They won't kill you, but they will make you sick.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, versus
that's-
cannibalism.
Versus cannibalism. Well,
Just
yeah.
saying.
Dead mob enemies. Oh, laundry
That time
detergent bottle
went
wins.
bye-bye.
Told you.
Finally, we can go on with our lives. And now our last 2 contenders face off.
Cut up bodies or potato peels? I love our audience. Cut
slight
up
lead
bodies or
taking
potato
shape.
peels? Best thing to put in your mouth: As a reminder, these were things that you'd find in your dumpster or the
Landfill.
landfill. Cut up
This was
bodies
not
or
the
potato
question.
peels?
Only a few seconds left to vote.
Yeah, it's not a confession of what is in your trash.
No.
Right.
Cut up bodies or potato
Out
peels
of the
wins.
smoke emerges a winner. Some players just came up empty. Time for a title change. Best thing to try to re-gift.
Oh my.
Predictions in now.
Nice. Best thing to try to re-gift. I forget who was in the brackets now. Again, I forgot to look.
We'll all learn together.
Time's
I
running
think
out.
somebody got kicked.
Yeah, I think someone got kicked off. That's what's.
Yes,
that's why
I'm
it's taking so
sorry
long.
you're not here.
Time
Usually
to
goes a lot
step
faster.
away from the prediction table. Let's jump back to our bracket for round 2.
Best thing to try to re-gift: a haunted doll or an ET video game cartridge. Haunted doll or ET video game cartridge. Haunted doll currently winning 8-1. 8
This one's looking
to
over.
1.
Yeah, because you might want the ET video game cartridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's a collectible. And by the way, it
Well,
didn't say you
I
had
mean,
to like the person you were regifting
Not
to.
really a collectible.
Right.
Haunted re-gifting a haunted doll, I think, actually does also
Our
move the
winner
curse
moves on
over
to
to
the
you.
final, but let's find out what they'll face off against.
Laundry detergent or potato
It was
peels.
touch
Which is
and
the
go
best
for these
gift
two
to try
answers
to
last
re-gift?
round.
I mean, with potato peels, you can at least fry them, I guess.
After they've been in garbage?
I didn't know that. They were re-gifted to me.
This one
Laundry
seems
detergent
like
bottle
it's over
or
before it's
potato
done.
peels. Laundry detergent.
Tick tock, tick tock, bong! Winner, winner.
Chicken dinner.
Laundry detergent wins. Detergent.
One last switch.
Best thing to re-gift
Most
becomes.
likely to contain a genie.
Oh!
And now the definitive matchup.
A haunted doll or laundry detergent bottle. I mean, honestly, both.
Yeah.
Haunted doll, it's tied 3-3. 3-3 is currently the tie.
No
With
one
9
thought it would
seconds
be
to
this
go.
close.
7 seconds. 5, 4-3.
The clock
bottle,
is running
detergent
out
bottle.
on voting time.
Detergent.
We
I'm getting
have a
I'm getting
winner.
strange directions from our live audience.
Oh,
So
are you?
Laundry detergent bottle.
Detergent.
Hotel.
But did any of that affect the final standings?
Fun fact, my name is Bottle in French. Let's see. Chris came in third. Ruka came in second. And Reg, who's Reg?
That's me.
Oh,
That's
Regina!
me,
Oh,
Regina.
Regina won! Man.
I never win these things. So
Congratulations.
awesome.
She won. No, that's a tie.
I'm the one who misspelled detergent.
That happens.
It was the pressure, you know.
Yeah,
I
well-
like my spell check. Thank you.
I live by spell check.
I've always been a math person, so yeah. So
Yay, good job, Regina!
Yay!
Boys, woohoo!
yeah, the last game I was like 7th. So
Good job, Regina.
There you go. This is why we like this game a whole
So-
lot more.
yeah.
All right. One last question for you before we say goodbye. What is the official guideline / rule for lining up before panels?
Yes.
1 hour before panels.
1 hour. It's not 3
Yeah.
hours. Let's get to sit there.
Not 3 hours.
Nope.
And please look for the people that are officially there, directing the line. Don't form 4 or 5 different lines, because only the official one's going to be the ones getting in. And then you have to start doing the merging and all that stuff. And we all know from Atlanta drivers that most of them don't know how to merge.
Yeah. Yes.
Just don't.
And then you have hurt feelings.
Yeah, exactly. And there's crashes, and there's
I found Atlanta drivers take the lines as a suggestion more than an actual.
And also the speed limit.
guideline.
Yeah.
And also the speed
Yeah.
limit. Yeah.
Yeah, they
it says
think
85.
285 is what you're supposed to strive for. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not.
All right. So until next time, Regina, thank you once again, and thank all of your staff and everyone, all the directors.
Yeah,
all the
guys,
volunteers.
thank a volunteer. If you see them with a volunteer
Yes,
ribbon, they're giving
remember.
their time. You know,
They're volunteering. Yes.
they're giving up part of their convention to make you happy.
And-
So
Yes. And you get cheesy poofs. The nicer you are, I bet you get cheesy poofs.
Yes.
go up to the volunteer village. They probably have some,
They
which is a con suite only for volunteers.
only for volunteers.
Yes, it is.
And a con suite is for the con goers if you can find it. It is like Brigadoon. It disappears anytime I get near it.
It's in the Hyatt on the second floor.
Second floor.
Which one is the Hyatt, John?
It's the one that's the highest, right?
Yes, it is.
Actually, believe it or not, in this case, you are correct.
Yes,
That's how I know it. Earlier, it was asked if they could build a Hyatt on top of the Hyatt, but then to get more space.
There's load-bearing things that
And
engineering and stuff.
Also, the elevators would still just take just as long. So
Yeah,
I don't know that we've
The
solved anything there.
Yeah, the infrastructure in Atlanta, it would be too heavy. There'd be no water and
Earthquakes.
things like that.
it
All
would.
sorts of
Yeah,
things would occur.
yeah,
It'd be bad.
yeah. It's
It'd attract more kaiju. That's
Cats and dogs marrying.
Yes.
All that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you
Vote in the Dragon Awards. That's another thing.
Oh, DragonCon Awards. Yes, where are those? At?
Vote in the Dragon Awards. It's online. Go to Dragon Awards. Just search for it. The ballot is open right now. You have to register, and there's a verification. It is free. You do not even have to be coming to DragonCon to vote for it. But the ballot is up right now. You can vote. You can register through Friday midnight of the convention and vote till Saturday at midnight. And the award ceremony will take place on Sunday. So there's lots of good cool things there. So vote for that.
All right, cool.
Now I'm done.
All right, so
That's
until next time, for Regina and Lee, this is John saying peace.
Bye.
Bye.
This was a production of The Unique Geek. Call our comment line at 8133210TUG. That's 81332108884. Email us at thegeeks@theuniquegeek.com or 50days@theuniquegeek.com. Follow The Unique Geek on Facebook and Twitter. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike license.
Bye. Oh, Grogu says bye.
Bye.
Bring me froggies. Bring me froggies.
He's just